Hey guys, it's Bo here. Have you ever wondered what the difference is between emotionality and spirituality? Are they the same? Are they completely different? Is there overlap? How does it work? When I grew up, I heard a lot of different angles or point of views on how emotions and spirituality should mix and match. The first one was that emotions does not belong in your spirituality. Like the expression we had in the church could not be emotional because then it was not God, it was just emotions. And I also experienced the complete opposite, that if you do not feel God, then He's not here. We need to do something to feel God, to make sure that He's actually in our midst. And then I also heard like the rules that, well, it's okay if you are emotional during worship, but it's not okay if the worship band keeps playing while you pray, because then it's a bad kind of emotion or not the right, I don't know. But I experienced that emotions and spirituality actually is something that people talk about and think about. I want to start out here with one big truth for me at least, and that is that God did not create spirituality. He did, however, create our emotions. Spirituality is just a term that we have minted for the practices and experiences we have with and towards God. But take a guess on what most of those experiences and practices leaves us with, either during the practice and experience or afterwards. You guessed right, it's emotions in one sort or the other. If you have an experience of peace, that's an emotion. If you experience joy, that's an emotion. If you experience fulfillment or even a longing, that's an emotion as well. Even if you experience a justice sensation that, oh, that was a good preaching, he just hit all the right notes, well, that's emotions as well. Even if you had a preacher who were like super logical and you felt like, oh man, this was so good because there are no emotions, only logic or only good theology, well, that experience is an emotion as well. But where does this need to detach ourselves from our emotions in our spiritual life? Where does that need come from? First of all, we see it in the Stoic Gnosticism. The Stoics are one of the groups of philosophers that Paul meets when he's in Athens. And they detach themselves from feelings. They will not be affected by feelings or experiences. They will remain stoic, cold, calm, whatever you want to call it, calculated. And they have kind of seen this as the big ideal. If we just do this, then everything is going to be fine. We have found the secret way to live a good life. So that's one way of detaching from emotions in a religious or spiritual sense. But then we also gotten a lot of inspirations through the Eastern philosophy and especially lately. And a lot of that has been super good. I love mindfulness in the form of Christfulness or even mindfulness. But there are certain things that I'm not the biggest fan of and I think can be a bit hurtful. Because detachment and dividing up your spiritual life and your emotional life. How can you do that and still be compassionate about the people that Jesus was compassionate about? Did Jesus detach from his emotions in his ministry? In his life? No, he lets it boil over sometimes when he gets angry. Sometimes he cries and weeps when he gets sad, and sometimes he celebrates in joy when something good happens. But of course, detachment is an opportunity to walk around the issues and our feelings and our lives. But I truly think that the loving relationship we have with Jesus is calling us to walk through it. Another really big thing concerning the emotional reality of our spirituality is the theology of creation. And here I think that we in general try to divide things up into small boxes. We have spirituality here, okay? We have football, we have that here. We have our relationship with a wife or a husband here. Kids are here. Emotions are over here. And for a lot of us, I think work is in here in the middle. But we divide it up. Spirituality, emotions, family, work. Please don't touch. But the truth is that God did not create us as segments of different units. He did not slice us up into a spirit and a body. No, He created us as a whole being. And the funny thing is that we in the Creed believe in the resurrection of the flesh, resurrection of the whole creation as well. And that really points towards that God created us as a whole. Our emotions and our spirituality, they belong together. But I think some of this comes from an idea that there are like good emotions and there are bad emotions and there are neutral emotions. But I don't think there are good or bad or neutral emotions. I just think there are emotions. They just are. God created them all. Nothing in this world can exist that God did not create. And emotions are not bad in themselves. I guess where the issue is how you respond to the emotions. And how we respond can be good, it can be bad, or it can be neutral. But the emotions are not bad or good, they just are. And if this is true, then that would mean that acknowledging our emotions, even when we're trying to be spiritual, that would be to acknowledge God, since He created the emotions. But if we reject our emotions, if we separate, if we detach from it, then we reject God, we detach ourselves from God, and we separate ourselves from God. It's okay to have emotions, and it's healthy to see your spirituality as an expression of your emotions, your thoughts, your experiences with God, your experience with the people at your church or the people in the streets. But to see that as a whole package, that is spirituality. Not something up here that you only do on the Sundays, but something under here from which everything else grows. Maybe you have a different point of view on this. If you have, then please let me know in the comments. It would be super cool to see what you think about this topic. And if this was helpful or insightful or even provocative for you, then please leave a like and let me know. Thank you for watching, and God bless your journey.